I think every guitar player wants their own custom guitar, something that's signature. It says everything about them. I really wanted something that was personal. It was something that no one else could have, and it's not something that's straight from a store shelf. It makes sense that I'm playing this guitar. What it does is just a natural extension of my creative voice and vision and ideas. It's not, I'm trying to put on all this, show and all this stuff. It's just, yeah, that makes sense. This is the direction the music's growing in. The reason I wanted to really even make this guitar was my first yellow guitar has a little bit of damage on the back of the neck, and I don't really feel safe taking it out and even trying to gig with it or have the chance of someone else picking it up and damaging the neck worse. So I wanted something that would be an upgrade from the previous one, but it wouldn't be so much of a change that it loses the identity or the identity that I have found. When I got this guitar, it was in really rough shape. There was all sorts of, I don't even know what kind of disgusting buildup on the old Floyd Rose. There's all this sticky stuff all over the tremolo arm. All the pots were just crackly and nasty sounding. I changed out every single bit of hardware and piece and part of this guitar. I put new tuners on it. I put the new tremolo system on it that's the actual honest-to-God Floyd Rose that's amazing. New potentiometers with push-pull. The new pickups. I left the selector switch because it's a fucking selector switch. And the coolest thing is the button. Like, seriously, look at this shit. I really fell in love with that sound from like Kiss and Jimi Hendrix and Buckethead. A lot of the, machine gun, switching the pickup on, have one pickup, like the neck pickup off and the bridge on, and then you just, switch it back and forth. I've burned through so many selector switches doing stupid shit like that. And I wanted a button, and I can do faster stuff with the button too. I'm honestly surprised more people don't have something like that. I get that it probably isn't cosmetically the most lovely thing to look at, but for a bright yellow guitar and I think my personality and attitude, it fits perfectly. The body of this guitar is an Epiphone Nightfall, so mahogany body. I think it's an ebony fingerboard. Very, very standard for these kinds of guitars. The back of the neck has this weird sort of, I don't know if it's dirt or wear or some weird combination of both. The feel's great. It doesn't weigh a lot, so I think it does have relief holes in it. I imagine it does. Standard scale length, nothing special, no frills. It's an Epiphone. The first set of Gibson pickups I ever got were classic 57s, and they are the ones that are in this guitar right now. I just put silver covers over the top of them, and I kind of like the dichotomy of the traditional and the non-traditional. The Les Paul is just such a quintessential old school guitar with all the new features on it. I think it kind of gives it a new life, and it's something that it's very different than what a lot of people would do. The amount of work that goes into making a guitar is unbelievable. The attention to detail, all the little screws, the wiring, setting up the height of the bridge. I mean, there's so much. It's really overwhelming, even for someone that is familiar with these instruments. There were a couple times where I was just so frustrated by this, I wanted to just walk away or just be like, fuck it, I'm done. Hey guys, I'm about to do something really crazy and stupid. Well, after all that, here it is. It's so fucking satisfying. Like, seriously, look at this shit. That makes me so fucking happy. I'm not exactly the most intelligent human being with some of this stuff. One of the coolest stories I've ever heard in music, I think it was like Bob Moog or someone like that was talking about when they were making their first synthesizers. They weren't really sure if they wanted to put piano keys on them because it would lock people into a certain mentality or approach. It's like, well, that's how that thing's supposed to sound now. We play it like a piano. And I wanted to do something that's kind of deconstructing the guitar, or why do we play it this way? Why not have something that's just a bunch of noise? What if we just make it crazy? Oh god, the vinyl sticker. This fucking sucked, but I think it's one of the most unique details. If I ever get a deal to make guitars, or Gibson or ESP or someplace contacts me just out of the blue, I would insist that it has to be a sticker. I just think it looks really cool, and it's definitely weird, and it definitely stands out against what I think the rest of the guitar world is doing right now. One of the things that got me interested in yellow guitars was a music teacher I had. He had a whole collection of Gibson guitars going back to the 50s to today. He told me that Gibson and other companies would make yellow guitars because they stood out on black and white TV so well. So you'd go into these studios and there'd be these really crazy bright instruments that look totally weird. I think it's kind of cool too, maybe in like an artistic sense, that it's this super bright color and it's, it just shows up black and white and really drab. I think that in a way I kind of can relate to that. It's a little bit of a sad but kind of beautiful sentiment. It's kind of poetic. When I was working on Kamikaze Tactics' first album and learning the solos and coming up with them, I found a groove of what I like to play and what I think sounds really good for the album. By the end of it, there's 14 songs on it, and almost every single one of them has a guitar solo or guitar part that's pretty straightforward in your face. Here's the solo, motherfuckers, listen up. And I was like, oh shit, I'm running out of stuff to play. And I needed to come up with something new, so I'm like, fuck, I need something with a tremolo arm or just something to change it up. And I actually did manage to track down a friend who had a guitar with a Floyd Rose on it, so all the whammy parts and stuff like that on the first album their punch-ins. Like, I'd play the whole solo up to that point, stop, play the vibrato part, and then, rest is history. So often I find myself just in life, and I feel like I'm making a cameo in reality or something. Like, there's all these normal, well-adjusted people, and I'm just standing there like, what the fuck do I do? How do I just, like, express myself to people that just don't get it? So I think this guitar is a perfect visual metaphor for me. I just think it'd be really funny to see something like this in a guitar store next to some overblown, super expensive, like custom-made, this or that. And not only that, the person that can play this guitar is just fucking shredding on it. Music's always been a really personal and expressive thing for me. A lot of the stuff I express is frustration and sadness and anger and stuff like that, but there's just something like so intimate about a guitar, and I'm always seeking that next level of connectedness and emotion. Like, how do I have this guitar just be me? Like, what am I, like, truly in my heart? This instrument, I think, is a really, like, it is me. It's a little bit weird, it's a little bit messed up, and I don't know, it just translates it so well. Fun.